Primary silver projects are rare, and what makes Dolly Varden so special is the results that you saw today. You know, the almost 400 grams per ton of over 20 meters, and that's on a 120 meter step out. Finding pure high-grade silver with those types of wide intercepts, it is something that, you know, you could probably count on one hand the number of projects globally that can deliver results like this.
The Financial Survival Network. Now more than ever. The Financial Survival Network.
And welcome. This is Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. We've got a major sponsor update from Shawn Khunkhun of Dolly Varden Silver. And Shawn, well, I'll kind of let you take it away. I view Dolly Varden as kind of one of the top tier junior miners out there, and these results further reinforce that view.
Absolutely. Listen, I think our business, there's three elements. It's the people, it's the project, and it's the money. And, we're blessed that we've got the shareholders like Hecla, like Eric Sprott, like all the big institutions that have entrusted us with enough capital. You know, the company's got over $30 million in the bank. So we've got the capital and we've got a best-in-class technical team. So you've got the capital, you've got the people. And as today's news release reiterated, it highlights what a spectacular world-class project this really is. And it's something, Kerry, that, I've been in the mining business for 21 years. I've spent the last 5 years completely focused on silver. And I just walked out of a meeting. I'm calling in right now from a hotel room in Toronto. And I just walked out of a meeting. And, what I see in Dolly Varden, and this is what I told the audience there, was we've got a project here that is it's a special project amongst a unique group of companies. Silver is super rare. Primary silver projects are rare, and what makes Dolly Varden so special is the results that you saw today. The almost 400 grams per ton of over 20 meters, and that's on a 120 meter step out. Finding pure high-grade silver with those types of wide intercepts, it is something that, you could probably count on one hand the number of projects globally that can deliver results like this.
Yeah, they're pretty spectacular. And what do you think it's going to do as far as the resource goes?
Well, listen, this is all, Wolf is interesting. The Wolf deposit. So just to put this into context, Dolly Varden was the richest silver mine in the British Empire. It was Canada's third largest silver producer. We've got this 15-kilometer trend. It's about 10 miles going south to north in Canada, in British Columbia, in the Golden Triangle. And Kerry, every mile cross-cutting that 10-mile trend are cross-cutting faults that have brought in mineralization, thrusts of high-grade silver mineralization. And so I think what this shows is we can grow high-grade silver. So Torbrit, which was Canada's third largest silver mine when it was in production throughout the 1950s, Torbrit's about a 50 million ounce high-grade pure silver deposit. I think Wolf's another one. There were some numbers that came out of Moose and Chance this year that are showing further growth. So I think it really highlights the number of potential 50 million ounce silver deposits that are on this land package.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And, one thing is technology. Obviously, we've seen a lot of technology come into the sector, but now it looks to me like directional drilling is a potential game changer.
It is. And despite being around exploration for a long time, it was a new idea and concept to me. When our project manager, Amanda Bennett, said, I want to try something new in 2024. And she said, Shawn, it actually costs a little bit more money. It's gonna, having the specific crew and the tools on site, there's an incremental added cost. But when we went through it, and she highlighted this, she goes, but you're actually going to save money in the long run, because what directional drilling enables us to do, first of all, what directional drilling does is with precision accuracy, you're able to target, because what happens, Terry, when you drill a hole, you could deviate as you go through that rock. And where you're targeting, you may not get there, right? So the directional drilling is a precise precision way to actually get to your target, number one. But what we've employed is what we drill is what we call a mother hole. Okay, so you drill an initial hole, and then from that, you would fan off daughter holes. So that initial 100, sometimes 200, in some cases 300 meters of initial drilling, you don't have to re-drill. So I calculated just this summer alone, we've saved about $1.5 million, over $1.5 million employing this directional drilling. So what it's done is it's enabled us to, with precision accuracy, target the widest parts of the mineralization, highlighting these really, really high-grade, wide intercepts. It's enabled us to do this in a cost-saving way. And so, no, it's, what I really like about Dolly Varden is you've got all the state-of-the-art technology. You've got the geophysics, right? You've got the geochemistry, you've got the directional drilling. You've got tools today that weren't there for the old timers that were mining, right, and exploring. But what I love about Dolly is you also have a team that we've got students in the field that support us that are in their early 20s, but we have people at the board level, in their 70s, in their 60s, senior geologists in their 50s and 60s that are mentoring that team and also emphasizing the importance of working with paper sections, right? And going out and doing the ground truthing. So it's marrying the old with the new, and I think we do it in a pretty elegant way.
Yeah, and the results, pretty amazing. I mean, all the multiple holes you've returned results on, most of them hit. The vast majority hit, only a few dry holes.
The hit ratio at Wolf, and what I really celebrate in Wolf is this is a business that I've seen a lot of projects get recycled. As the metal prices surge up, the same old projects get kicked around. And what I love about what we're doing at Dolly is Wolf is brand new. Like Wolf is something where it is what the industry needs. It needs new discoveries. It needs growth. It needs taking, some of these new technologies and marrying it with the old, coming up and letting the science drive the mine plans and letting the geology drive the mine plans. But no, it is really nice to see. And again, I really want to emphasize the pure silver aspect here. Silver has been in a deficit for the last 4 years. And, we're talking about, over 200 million ounce a year deficits for a market that's producing less than 1 billion ounces a year. That includes recycling. And so, the silver's got this in growing demand. 100 years ago, Kerry, only 10% of silver was used in industry. Today, it's over 50%. And so you've got this growing industrial demand for a metal that in the natural setting in the world, in order to find this stuff, the pure silver mines only represent about 1 in every 4 silver mining opportunities. Most of the silver we get is a byproduct. So again, why I celebrate what we're finding at Wolf and at Torbrit and at all these other silver deposits on the property and silver veins that we're discovering is it's pure silver, it's high grade, and I think most importantly, it's in a safe jurisdiction.
Yeah, all of the above. And
Kerry, that jurisdiction just got a little safer yesterday.
Well, this is a family publication. We don't talk politics here, but I definitely understand what you're saying. And going to be even more mining friendly than it already was in all likelihood.
Absolutely.
So exciting times ahead. Obviously 2025 is now upon us. What are the goals for 2025?
It's really interesting. I was talking to a very successful investor yesterday, and he said to me, he goes, we're going to get this great run. Like, this is going to be the year of gold. And I said, the year of gold? I said, gold had a huge year last year, right? Like a monster year. And he goes, well, it's going to have an even bigger one. And it's going to be the year of silver. And all these things are going to go crazy. But unfortunately, all these cash-starved mining companies are going to run out. They're going to hit the bid. And the first $1 billion that shows up from generalists is going to go into private placements. And Carrie, what 2025 looks like for Dolly is we're cashed up. We've got over $32 million in the bank. We don't need to go to market. So we're in a unique position amongst the juniors. And, you kindly and generously called us, one of the better junior miners out there. And I think what really separates us, and one of the reasons we've been successful, is our access to capital and the fact that we've operated from a position of strength. So we're walking into the year, if silver goes up, if we make new discoveries, if we convince investors about the business plan, the vision, and our execution, there's only one way to get into the story, and that's in the open market. And that's going to put pressure on the share price to the upside. And I think it's what is really going to separate us from our peers this year. So we've got a company that's well capitalized. We're envisioning approximately a 40,000 meter drill program. And, last year we started off with a 25,000 meter program. And because of success and because of some of those efficiencies and cost savings with the directional drilling, we actually ended up drilling over 32,000 meters. So we're looking at building upon that, going up to 40,000 meters this year, having multiple rigs going out 24 hours a day when we get started. But Kerry, the good news is we have more results to come from the 2024 program. So, we've got some numbers coming out of Homestake, and they're due out soon. So there's a lot more to talk about and to interpret and to plan as we go out. But it'll be, if it's not broken, why fix it? So it's going to be more expansion, more de-risking, more growth.
Looking forward to see what happens in 2025. Hopefully the market will appreciate it. As we're speaking today, after your release, silver is back over $30 the ounce. It hit 35 US a while back and then pulled back, which is to be expected. Had a really nice run last year, but it's still nowhere near its all-time high, unlike gold.
What's really interesting is I was looking at the SILJ's performance in 2024. And, what's really interesting is I think I'm going to use, approximate numbers here, but let's say silver was up 15% last year. I think it was actually closer to 20. So silver's up 20% in 2024. What you'd normally see in a price environment like that, where the metal is appreciating, you'd see the stocks up 60%. You'd see, 3x performance from the equities. But what you actually saw was the SLJ was up like 6%, not 60. So it's underperforming the metal. And the same is true in gold. And so what that tells me is you've got central banks buying gold, the East is buying gold. We're starting to see some investors come into silver. You've got the average population in places like India that are big buyers. In Q1 alone, Indians consumed about Indian market, and solar was about a third of the entire silver demand. But what's interesting is I really think, apart from Indian buyers, apart from industry, nobody's come into silver yet. And that tells me, and there's some big banks and some mainstream investors that are starting to highlight the opportunity in silver, not on the monetary side, but just from the industrial supply-demand setup.
Yep, I think the big move is yet to come, and we're going to see that soon enough, and it could very well occur in 2025. So appreciate you coming on the show, Shawn. And I suggest everybody go over to dollyvardensilver.com, sign up for notifications, ticker symbols in the US, DOLLF, and in Canada, it's DV. Shawn, sounds like an exciting 2025 ahead. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks so much, Kerry. All the best.
The Financial Survival Network.